All right, so I'm giggling and laughing. So today it's always something that goes on at the shop. So at some point in time in the day with stemmed, we don't put air in bad tires. Video was some guy pulls into the parking lot, doesn't go into the office, walks over to the bay door and just says, "Hey, can you put some air in my tire?" And I was like, "Hey, we don't usually do that." I said, "But if you want to go to the counter and talk to them to see how we can help you, you can do that." I said, "But we don't normally just put air in people's tires." And we don't. So 2 seconds later, I turn around. He doesn't go. I don't see him walk into the office because he has no intentions of having a professional check his tire and see why he has to put air in it. Uh, well, let me back up. He pulls in the parking lot, gets out of his car, walks over to the bay, and says, "Hey, can you put some air in my tire?" I said, "We don't normally do that, but if you go up front and talk to Rachel, we can check it out for you." And he's like, "Oh, no, no, Wawa's air pump is broke, so I figured I would just stop here." So I said, "Well, you go talk to Rachel, and we don't usually just put air in people's tires. You want to check to make sure that there's no problems with the tire. If it has a bad valve stem, or if it's leaking, or if it's bald, or if it's ready to blow out. We don't want to touch shit like that." And you, as the driver or consumer, should want to know. I don't care where you're going. Safety is the most important thing, right, April? Safety, making it to your next destination, obviously, and you need to know if your tire has a problem. We don't charge to check someone's tire if there's a problem with it. So if it's dry rotted, cracked, it's bald on its inside edge, if there's a nail in it, it needs a patch, it needs a TPMS, it needs a valve stem, has a cracked rim. We don't charge. How about that for a value? We do not charge to find out why your tire is leaking air, if it does or it does not. I tell people, well, if all your other tires aren't losing air and one is, something's going on. And they're like, "Oh, no, 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 there's nothing wrong." I'm like, yeah, okay. So if I walk out to the car and I'm outside and they catch me and I look at the tire and they're like, I said, "Which tire is the problem?" And they're like, "Well, that one." So I was like, "The one that's bald?" They're like, "Oh, no, no, it's still got tread on it." I'm like, "Yeah, sorry, you need a new tire," or that's that. And then off they go. But anyway, this guy says Wawa doesn't have his the Wawa air pump is down. uh, and you know what? I would never know that at Wawa because how often do I ever use Wawa's air pump? Never, because if there's a problem with my tire, I fix it.
Guess what? You don't work at the counter, so you don't know how many people come in and say,
I know, but I drive my car every day, and we have multiple vehicles. And if you tell me the tire needs air, what do? I bring it in the shop and I check it to make sure there's nothing wrong with the
"How many
tire.
times have you told me to go to Wawa?"
And I told her to go to Wawa too. If I'm busy, I don't have time to do it. You go and do it. But if it's a continual problem, I say, all right, I need to look at it. So he says Wawa's pump is down. I said, go talk to Rachel. How about that? Free. I talk about me getting paid for what I do all the time. One courtesy thing we will do, if you are interested in actually fixing your tire or knowing what the problem is, my entire staff will look at your tire for free. And most of the time you need a new tire and anyway. But there is many, you've seen my videos. I plug tires and patch tires all the time if the tire is good. So then I look out in the parking lot to see if he went in the office. I see him go into his trunk and pop out his little 12-volt tire inflator, and in the middle of the parking lot, he's filling up his tire. Well, why didn't you do that in Wawa's parking lot if you pulled up to their free air machine, realized that it's broke, instead of coming to my shop and bothering me and being lazy, right? Because you already knew that you had a tire pump because I watched you use it in my parking lot. Why didn't you just do it yourself in Wawa's parking lot instead of coming to basically bother me and harass me is what was going on. Like I have things to do in my shop. And if you would have said, "Hey, I have a leak in my tire. I would like to know what's wrong with it. Can you check it out?" Absolutely, we would have. Most of the time, it's just a simple walk out into the parking lot, take a look at your tire, and give you the yes or no, or hey, I need to get in the shop and take a closer look at it. Free. We do that for free at Meineke Cinnamon. So he put like 30 seconds worth of air in his tire with his own tire pump, and off the on his way he went. But my point is, you were at Wawa. You knew that the tire inflator wasn't working. You obviously typically, how many people really have an air pump in their car today. And I will tell you, I work on a lot of cars. I don't see air pumps in people's cars anymore.
Somebody that knows that they're
Somebody who knows that they're having problems with their tires more often than they should. But I'll say majority of the people that we see, you're lucky to have a jack, a tire iron, or wheel lock key, or anything to even remove your tire. Even if you know that there is or is not a spare tire. Like, so my point is, you were at Wawa, you were in a safe area where you could put air in your tire, and you chose not to do it. You chose to drive out on the Route 130 and finish going down the road, and then you see, oh, there's Meineke. Let me just stop and see if they have air that they'll stop and put air in my tire. Nope, we won't do it unless you want your tire checked. If you want your tire checked, we will gladly check that for free. How about that? I'm saying free, April.
I was gonna say something, but I decided that to not.
It's the truth, though, right? Out of all the things that we do at our shop, there's not many that we do it for free. But I will, if upon your request, if you say I would like my tire checked out, I will check it out and let you know if it's safe or not. I mean, how much more value you could find in that type of service? Regardless, if the tire is new yesterday, who cares what the condition was at the time that you showed up to the lot? I need to know if the condition's good for me to touch your car and if it's safe for you to continue on down the road. But like I said, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. We do tires. We're going to put 4 rims on a car tomorrow, and we've never put 4 rims on a customer's car. It just tells you the kind of customer he is. He has 3 slightly bent steel wheels. And we said, hey, you only need 3. He's like, no, put 4 on there. I know the spare rim has rust on it. I just want it right. So tomorrow I'm going to do a video about 4 rims. This guy loves his work vehicle. He wants... And here's another... And I say I love customers who love to keep their car in mint condition. Now, when we met this customer, his wheel was falling off and 3 tires were shot. In my parking lot with the wheel falling off. And the car was in bad shape. And then we reconditioned his car, fixed all the bad stuff. And then he had 3 slightly bent steel wheels. And there was a slight vibration. And we said, hey, drive it. Not a slight vibration. We could see that there was 3 slight bent rims. And sometimes a slight bend in a certain rim and tire doesn't show up in the car. And then he came back a week later and says, hey, over 70, I feel this vibration. It wasn't in the front of the car. It was in the back because we put those rims in the back. And I said, hey, the only resolution to perfect trueness is new wheels. And he's like, yeah, just put 4 on. I want my van to feel like new at 120,000 miles. We love this guy, right? I said, either, you drive it the way it is and feel that very slight vibration from the back of the car in your 120,000 mile Transit Connect. Utility style with racking and stuff inside. But I didn't charge him to address his concerns over 60 miles an hour. I said, hey, okay, if you got a tire problem, we just put 4 tires on a week ago. Maybe you lost the weight. I'm not really sure. I didn't drive it over 60 miles an hour after repair. We don't try and speed in customers' vehicles. And he was right, 65, 70 miles an hour. You could feel it in the back. It wasn't insane or in the steering wheel on the front. You could feel it in the back. But that's where we put the slightly bent rims. He's like, nope, I want it to feel like new. And it's like, hey, I respect that. But yeah, we will check your tire for free. How can you beat free for certain things, especially when it comes to tires? And so what? And all you have to do is say, I would like you to check my tire and see if there's a problem. Thanks for watching. For free!